Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. Sorry, that took a little bit of time to get us started here. But we are here, ready to go. How is everybody doing? Hang on. Mojo wants to play the game. Hi, Mojo. Say hi to the humans. Hey, the Mojo. We're ready for live streaming. All right. How is everybody doing? Did everybody have a fabulous weekend? How come? Oh my goodness gracious, Moj. We can't do both things, bud. So you're either up here or you're down there. There we go. Sorry, Instagram was not displaying properly. Okay, we're here. Oh my goodness. All the technology, I swear. I think I'm a little bit cursed. Oh no. Okay, dude, you either are up or you're down. Come here, please. Come here, you crazy nut. Come here. You're a crazy man. Hey, look, O'Dari's here. Say hello. Say hello to O'Dari and all the fabulous people on the Behance and Facebook. You're a crazy man. All right. Okay. So I was actually able to work on this lovely dragon this weekend. A little bit more, which is fantastic. So much fun. Okay, just settle, buddy. Come on. And so we started the shading last week on the individual pieces, which is so much fun, but kind of a long, drawn-out process. So I wanted to make sure I kind of wrapped that up as much as I could before we started this week, and I did. So take a look. Oh my God. I'm freaking out, guys. This is turning out so well. Just settle down, buddy. Come on. You're full of energy. I'm freaking out. This is going so well. So I made a couple decisions, which I'll go over right now just real quick. We do have the normal little pieces that we're used to seeing. So like all the red that we were doing last week and the little kind of pieces here and there that go through. But I also kept quite a few large sections. So we have like the horns, mainly they were really big ones, and then like the mustache and the beard. And so I didn't know how to handle those. I worried that putting them into small sections like everything else was going to be really like just add too much to it, and it wasn't gonna give me the contrast I was looking for. So what I did with the shading was on those sections, instead of going as kind of a uniform shadow, I'm trying to touch the humans. Here's your guy. I'm playing with your guy. Instead of like uniform sections, you can see I kind of went with a little bit more movement to my shadow. So I didn't go as uniform fade out. I kind of made sure that it had a little bit more movement. So a little bit kind of adding to that swirliness of stained glass paint, things like that. So I went with that for the bigger sections. It was a little tougher because I kept it the smaller brush. And sometimes the overlap looked very much like I had drawn it that way. So it made a bit of a mess, but once I got into a good rhythm, like I really think the beard came out really nice. It looks like there's like a reflection on it. I'm so stoked with how this is coming out. So yeah, thank you, O'Dari. I appreciate that. Looks fantastic. Thank you. I'd love to hear it. So normally I would go and we would go do the highlights on all these pieces today, but what I really want to do is I want to do the big shadows today. I want to do the big ones that usually we do at the end. I'll do all these darks, and then I'll do all the contrasting highlights on the flat, just to get everything kind of the base down. But there's some decisions I've made that I really need those really big shadows for. I love the pattern on the whiskers. Same. I look for an opportunity to use that paper pattern. It's so busy that I don't get to use it very often. It kind of tends to take over. So when I had those like whiskers go in, I knew exactly which paper pattern was going to go in because it has so much to it. But the overall pattern itself, like if I did it with the dragon, like we wouldn't see anything. So it came together so nicely. And I'm just leaving them flat for now. They're going to play in with these big shadows we're going to do today. But yeah, it's just really speaking for itself, which is so much fun. Yeah, so instead of going with the highlights and everything this week, I want to go big with the big shadows because I think it's going to help me make a few extra decisions that I'm not really sure, I'm super sure about. So usually, for those who are new, in these illustrations, I kind of tend to do one step at a time, all overall, but there's always a point of decision making that needs to happen. So 92, I have to write that down because we're going to need that for the highlight. Where's my pen? Now I'm going to see this 92 on this random piece of paper later. Not know what it means. Leave the neighbors be, please. Okay, and now we're going to have to be careful with the color too. So I want to keep this same brush, but I want it bigger. Yeah, that's going to be good. But I don't think I want that color. I don't know if the red's going to be our jam or if we want to go a little... I just want the right color that we can kind of use across the board, but I think we don't want to go too red. I also don't want to go too gray. So let's see what we got in here. So that looks good there. See, it's gonna be like too red on the brown. I don't like that too much. I can use multiple colors, I guess. Actually, I think that's a really good starting point. Okay, great. So we'll start with that. All right. So let's get started. So I want to start laying out these big sections here. Most of them, it's kind of hard to tell right now that I filled this with color. But when we go and start doing this, you can kind of see that there's a hierarchy in the line arts. And in the line art, you can really see these different sections I built out. I do notice that I tend to lose that hierarchy a little bit doing this, but it pulls back when I do these big shadows. So that's what we're going to do today. Just kind of bring those out a little bit. You can see I still have not, oops, I undid my multiply there. There we go. So you can still see that I have not done the eyes yet. I have kind of a plan for those, but that's one of the things I needed these big deep shadows for, so I can make that call. Alrighty. Oh, we're definitely going to need a bigger brush for that. Okay. I'll write that one down too. 16. Eraser. Maybe that will remind me back of this like oil change receipt or something. Okay, so is this the one I want? Yes, this is the one I want. Okay. So for the first couple of these, I'm just going to throw the shadow down and then just erase away. As we start building them up, there's going to be some overlap and some kind of like intersections. So I will be a little bit more careful in using the lasso and things like that. But for right now, we're going to do this. Oh my goodness gracious. I was working on this yesterday, and I was watching the first Hobbit movie. I'm finding I'm really getting into these, but I can't watch anything new because I get so zoned out that I just kind of lose the focus of what's going on. And so there's dragon there, dragon here, just dragons everywhere. It was craziness. Oh, Dari, did you mention that you have a dragon coming up in the Moonstone project? I'm very excited to see it. I'm here for dragons all day long. I was like really far from my iPad when I heard that. I was like, no, I can't comment fast enough. They'll have moved on. I'm here for dragons all day long. Oh dear, what did I do here? Right. Okay, good. Phew. Thought I was gonna make a mess. So the purpose of these heavier shadows, like the first initial ones, are to break out the pieces and to show each individual kind of glued together glass piece. And then these shadows are to kind of emphasize the layers that I'm hoping to portray in that. We'll see here. Oh, scary. You can see that section is popping right off the page. A robot dragon. Oh, I'm in. That's awesome. I'm so excited. So excited. So see, you can see so much layering that's happening right here. So stoked. And I'm okay, like it's shadowing over the eyes. That's okay. I have a plan. Okay, so let's put the next one in. Let's be a little bit more careful. We'll do... It's down underneath here, so I don't want to be interfering with this other shadow too much, except for up here. And not quite up there because... Oops. Erasing it away will be a problem. Alrighty, just want to get it off of that. There we go. Cool, man. Hi Camden, thanks for joining. So much detail. Do you mostly use Fresco? Lately, yes. I picked up Fresco a couple years ago. I think it was because of Adobe Max. They had kind of launched it, or it was kind of like more becoming a thing, I guess. And I gave it a try. I've just upgraded my iPad and everything. And so I gave Fresco a try. And yeah, I've been in it kind of ever since. This has kind of been, I've been trying to get into digital work and just never, it wasn't clicking. And then I got my Wacom tablet many years ago, which helped me kind of be able to draw with my hands. And then we got into, oops, no, something dumb's happened here. Let's try again. I went up to the edge of my lasso. That's my problem. Sorry, guys. And then I got into this. And so I'm using Fresco quite a bit just because it's so easy to use. Excuse you. Sorry, my dog's Homeland Security extra today. So I've been using Fresco quite a bit because I use Photoshop and Illustrator on the desktop quite a bit. I haven't quite adapted. I'm a shortcuts person. So I haven't quite adapted to that way of working on those programs, but Fresco has always been the iPad. So all my digital work, yes. The challenge of Moonstone is combining sci-fi, cyberpunk, and fantasy. I would imagine, but I feel from what I saw, like especially on the live stream yesterday, from what I saw, like you're doing a great job, and I think that's like a great challenge if you can kind of like mash things together, like like there's like those daily challenges and things where you're just like, here's 3 words, mash them together, or use charcoal and water and something else or whatever, so it's a really great idea to be doing this for yourself. It's a cool challenge, and there's so much opportunity, which is the coolest thing. Talking about I don't know the story very well yet, so I'm very excited to read it, but you're saying like vampire who's like good in like a bad way, like I don't even know what that means, but I'm excited. Excuse you. Hey, those people are just having their supper. Leave them alone. There's no problem for you. No, not one problem for Mojo. Dude, give it up. Or are you gonna go to bed? Leave it. Thank you. Sorry, he's been at home all day. Now he's standing his ground. He's cranky mad. So one thing, Camden, I was saying, last week I was doing a couple weeks ago I was working in fresco and you were commenting on the level of detail. I would, if you are a fresco person, warn you a little bit. I had lots and lots of layers, and all of these like colors are paper patterns, and I crashed my fresco actually. So this file has all of the colors merged onto one layer. That's why it says copy at the top. Well, maybe it doesn't on the stream. Sorry, it says copy on the top, and so there's lots and lots of layers. But I think that's also like a device thing. That's not a fresco thing. Like that's the first time I've crashed fresco, and I think it's also just kind of like a device capacity thing too. So just save a lot. Oh my god. Oh, guys, I'm freaking out. It's looking so good. Okay, sorry, getting all distracted, getting all in a tizzy over here. Because I know what I want to do for the eyes, and if it works, oh my god. Oh my god. Okie dokie. So let's do... Fortunately, there's a lot of moving parts, so I have to think about what I'm putting down. Do you work mostly freelance? I actually work very little freelance. I'm lucky enough to have an illustration job that I go to every day. I work for the man. But I go to, like, I have a day job, so this is my at-home studio time. I would love to get to a point where I could do this all the time because it's all I think about all the time. But no, I don't do a lot of freelance work. I've done some things like some logos and some weddings and a few other things like that, mostly for friends and family. But I'm kind of like trying to see what I can kind of open my selection up to next year and see what's going on. I'm doing some collaboration. You can see Odari's in the chat. We're collaborating a little bit. I'm helping him in a tiny bit of his project. I have other people kind of local that I'm kind of collaborating with. So I mostly do that kind of stuff. I'm actually in the middle of kind of getting my feelers out for how to price things and how to approach that, because I haven't done it, and I'm just trying to get to how that is in this world, because when I learned about all that stuff, things were different. So not freelance just yet. My coworkers know the story and are so excited. I'll be 51 on Thursday. Yes. Finishing the Moonstone poster this month is my personal birthday gift. You know, that's awesome, because I don't know, I feel like I've talked about this a couple weeks ago for some reason, but I think we mentioned that it was your birthday or someone's birthday coming up. And you know, the birthday gift to you thing, like, that it changes. Like, I'd be like, I want to go out to dinner, and then I want to have a party and do all this stuff. And now I'm just like, you know what? I want to go sit in a coffee shop and be by myself for 5 minutes. And doing the poster for you, like, I feel like I did something like that for my birthday this year. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to my lassos. That's the problem. Sorry. But yeah, just doing that, like, little thing that you really want to do and being like, no, I'm hard carving this time out. Like, the past few years, I haven't gone to work on my birthday because I'm like, I don't want to. So if you can, don't. But doing that thing for you, would recommend. So happy early birthday if I'm not talking to you. But hopefully we'll be chatting on the streams and stuff, and I'll see you near your birthday. Oh, so good. Are you going to stream it on Thursday? Oh, I can't, never mind. Doesn't matter. I can't watch it. I'm traveling on Thursday. So sorry. But I will go back to it if you do. Let me know. That's cool. I'm also trying to find freelance illustration and storyboard jobs. And yeah, especially in that field, that's super tricky. It's, I think a lot of work is really tricky. Like I'm a technical illustrator, and there's not a lot of people who hire like for that specifically. I actually work with a lot of people that I went to school with or went to the same school as me, because they were looking specifically for what used to come out of that program. My best advice is just persistence, grow your network, communications, chat with people, see what they're interested in, see what they know. I honestly don't have a lot of storyboard experience, at least not working experience. I have student experience. So yeah, just keep those lines of communication open. Talk to lots and lots of people. Not really something us artists always love doing, but sadly a thing we must do. Now I feel like I've done a silly thing with I want to treat this ring differently. So you can see the hierarchy lines, the thick lines don't go all the way around the nose ring. I think I want that to be the case. I don't know. Maybe I should do that now while I'm thinking about it. Oh, perfect. Oh my God. Okay. Black. Bow show. Because I was thinking in my head while I was drawing this yesterday, I want to... Oh, definitely need a bigger brush there. Is that I want this to stand out. Because I want it to jump out and stand out here, I intentionally didn't shade the ring part. I just did the beads. Because I really want the shadow to make this pop. Voodoo Val's birthday's on Wednesday. I want to see if we can do a stream together. That would be so much fun. Birthday stream. Oh, man. It's funny, some of my friends and I always talk about how, like, things have changed. Not that a stream isn't fun, but how, like, we're, like, super stoked to get, like, a vacuum for your birthday or for Christmas or something. But a birthday stream sounds like a wicked party. I'm in. Let's do it. I don't think I've caught Voodoo Val's stream yet. I'm gonna have to check it out. People were talking about it yesterday, I think. Thing with doing the line, this is why I do the lines first, because the shadows are always getting in the way. I will assume that the undos mean you are not having a stroke, Odari. Yeah, so throwing these lines in, this is why I do the line art first, because as you can see, like I'm kind of like interfering with my shadows here. It's okay because I think I'm going to be throwing some pretty deep shadows down here. I don't think it's going to impact this, but across the whole illustration, this would be extremely frustrating. So this is why I really make that line art. Make sure it's as solid as can be before I get started. Sorry, I dropped my keyboard every time. My mom dropped me when we were on the phone yesterday. It happens. It's all good. But yeah, it'll like change my phone to Spanish or something. And then I'm like, I don't know how that happens. How did this happen? Oh, missing one more line here and then we'll go back to fun colors. I just know I wanted this to be a little different. So I wanted to pop with the shadows. I also left the ring without shadows on it because the big outer ring doesn't have shadows on it. So I thought that would kind of like, it's not really gonna pull it together, but it kind of like makes it work. Instagram is still running. Love it. Let's hit a save, shall we? Okay, so now that that line is in there, let's go back to these crazies. Okay, so there is a big... thinking in my head. Which one do I want to do first? Let's do this shadow first. Underneath. Did you get all your trees over? Oh my goodness gracious. People will think I never feed you. It's not true. Oops. Yes, that's okay. No, Mojo. We're going to leave those guys alone, okay? Come on. They're just so nice to you all the time, and you're just giving them a hard time for no reason. Okay. Just want to make sure we have all our sections here, because putting the shadows in after is less fun. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to not black. Oof, that'd be a mess. Oh dear. Get it together. Holy cow. I'm not even trying to color in any lines. I just like, oh dear. Alrighty. What else? So yeah, I spent a whole bunch of my long weekends, I mentioned this last week, working in the studio because we have shop things coming for the fall, telling as many people as I can so that I can keep it going. Lots of things to come. I have to have some pricing out to do, a couple contacts this week that I'm hoping will kind of solidify a few things. Then, so keep an eye on the socials because magic is coming. I don't know what it is. I feel like I said at the start of the stream, me and the tech are not friends right now. I don't know what I did. I like to be friends with the tech. I'm trying to make magic here with the tech. But like emails and communications and everything have been awful. It's like I don't even know if I'm speaking English. Like the only common denominator is me. So maybe I'm not explaining myself properly, but oh my goodness. Like I asked, I sent an email out to a company here. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm making a shadow decision. I'm going to keep it on the circle, I think, eh? Sorry. I just want to make sure that, excuse me, I am consistent with the other projects. Because I like to keep my white backgrounds. I don't think I put shadows out in the universe. There's no shadows under the Kraken. That batshit crazy. Yeah, I don't think I did. Sorry, looking for some consistency here. Okay, I'll follow this consistency. So sorry, I sent an email to a company this week. I wanted to get something framed. And I said, hey, this is the size that I want. Do you have like a range of materials, supplies, of what it would cost me to frame this? And I gave some dimensions, I gave some color ideas, said I was open to discussion, just looking for some ideas, blah, blah, blah. They came back with, it would be cheaper if you brought your own frame. If I had my own frame, I would not be contacting the framing place. It would also be cheaper if I already had shoes so that I didn't buy new ones. I was just like, what is happening? And then like one of the printers I was talking to was like, I'm like, I want to know what the, like, I'm like, I want to get the coloring books done. this many, this is the file, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, it kind of like depends on how many and how fast. I'm like, do you have a number for me? Because I can go other places. This is paper. I have other people recommending other things. Like, would you like my money? I'm offering you lots of money. Would you like to do it? These people, I tell you. I understand wanting specifics before you make a decision with some people, but like, good Lord. Sometimes I wonder how this human race has survived this long. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Let's see. Save. Okay, so let's finish the shadow over here because we didn't finish it before. Don't transform it for the love of goodness. Yeah, so there's going to be shop things. I'm going to have the coloring book again this season, and it's going to be, and there's also a new one coming. Very exciting business. I'm also going to be selling greeting cards. I'm hoping for maybe stickers. And I'm hoping for maybe some pins. I have a few samples on their way. So some stuff is coming and I'm very excited. And there's a couple other things I'm getting tested right now that I can't talk about because I don't want to get too excited. Or get people all on a tizzy and have it not work out. So stay tuned is my best advice. So I have to remind myself to be a little bit more careful with these lasso selections because we're a little more willy-nilly with them. And in the other sections, because I'm pulling it away from the line, but here we gotta be a little bit more careful because if the color doesn't go straight up to the line, there's a little gap, and it's really hard because I'm doing kind of almost a transparent brush on a multiply layer. It's really hard to fill in those gaps. I want to make prints of my paintings, but it costs way too much. Yeah, prints I would love to get into. But yeah, I'm finding the same thing. It's expensive and like nerve-wracking to mail them. Like I want to do ginormous prints, but I don't know if it's practical. Like I'd almost have to see like if I was going to get into like a market situation, then people can kind of take them home on their own, but mailing them. So I find that's the biggest cost too, is shipping things. It's just so expensive. Like you go, like now I can't remember the math. I have to go back, but I went to like one of the companies here to ship the coloring books, and if I had 4 in an envelope, it costs like $4 to ship it. But if I had 5, it was like $20 to ship it. So people who ordered more than 4 got 2 envelopes. It's just madness. Madness. It's too much. Everything is so expensive. And I want to be careful to like... Sorry, Instagram's looking like a drunk situation here. Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. I hear you. And then gauging like interest. What do people actually want? Ugh. It's kind of nerve-wracking. But, you know, if you go slow. Like, I'm just planning to go slow about it because I'm lucky enough that I don't need to pay my rent with this. It's a bonus. But for those that are, like, trying to make it work and they need to make it work, you got this. Let's work together and get you that money. I just want to share it all, but I don't know what the people want. I ordered clear stickers for my Star Wars cosplay outfit. Jack Watson designed for me. I can't wait. Oh my god. That's gonna be amazing. I did order some sample stickers this last week. Sticker Mule is busy because they have all my stuff. Yeah, that happened last week. They're just so fun, but then I worry about sticking them on things. Just stick the sticker. You can always buy more. God, that is out of control. Hey, everybody, sorry I'm late, having a rough day. Hey, Alessandra. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry you're having a rough day. Boo. I liked your stream yesterday. I think I keep missing it. The time zones really messed me up on some of the things, but I liked your stream yesterday. I'm sorry you had a headache. Yeah, I imagine clear stickers would be a bit of a challenge. Sticker Mule, killing it. Yeah, that's where I got my stickers from. My a friend of mine's used them. I think a few people here have recommended it. So they're my first trial of a few different things. So I'm very excited. Clear stickers are tricky. Yeah, the coolest ones are always the harder ones. I didn't mention it yesterday, Alessandra, just because you were kind of at the end of your stream. But I might want to chat with you at some point because I didn't realize that you were like a registered art therapist. And art therapy's been like, I've been on the edge of applying for programs for so long because it interests me so much. So I'll be on your streams a little bit more just to see some of the stuff you've got going on. But we'll talk more when you're not having a rough day because it's not fun having a rough day. But I do like the talk that you had, like the topic you had of boundaries and things. It's a big thing right now. Now that we're back to normal, air quotes for the gram, back to normal. I think boundaries are a big thing that some people are having a hard time setting and others having a hard time taking. So I'm glad you talked to, like you had that up yesterday as a thing to talk about. Yeah, I've been having some stressful situations, people getting on my nerves and not respecting my boundaries. It's really hard. Like my default is people pleasing, which doesn't help anything at all. But then just kind of like really assessing, like I'm really working hard on it to be like, no, I can't do everything, just being better of like, I had a whole bunch of stuff planned, like I think it was 2 Tuesdays ago. And I just had a whole stuff planned after work and I just canceled it. I'm like, I just want to go hang out with Mojo. We're done. Like, I'm not doing any of the things. But this looks great. Like I can touch it. Amazing. Thank you. Here, I'll zoom out and you can see the whole thing. We've been working on this layer today. So this is what it looked like when I got started today. And we're getting those layers going. I don't know if I'm going to need to do something, because usually the sections, the whole idea is stained glass, so usually the layers are like, there's kind of like an outside border, but I don't think I can do a border on each of these without like really muddying the dragon's layout. But this part's also not done yet, so we'll just keep going. I tend to get ahead of myself a little bit, so I want to make sure I just do the one thing at a time because I usually don't need the added bits after I research it a bit. Yep, not feeling guilty of saying no either. I agree. Yeah. And like trying to come up with like an excuse. You're like, I don't need an excuse. It's okay to just not want to do the thing. But then all my friends are people pleasers, so I'm like trying to give reasons so that they don't feel like it's their fault that I'm not doing a thing. It makes me really tired. Where do you get your inspiration? Oh my goodness. everywhere. I get my inspiration from all over the place. So I'm a big reader. I do find um, a lot of my inspiration comes from music. I get really inspired when I'm listening to music, which I haven't been doing lately. So I personally need to get back to that. Um, as far as these kind of stained glass things, I was thinking about this yesterday actually, because I don't remember where this came from. So in the pandemic, I was working, I started like building up into my studio again because I didn't have a work-life balance before, boundaries. And so when I was working at home and I was filling my time when we were in lockdown, all that kind of stuff, I got back into my studio and I was doing illustrations once a month. I wanted to get back into the digital, back into the regular stuff. And so I started with the Behance Beauties. So if you go into my account, you can see the beauties. They were once a month. And then I did the Behance Stories, which were mostly once a month last year. But stained glass always has like a really cool effect. My grandfather did stained glass. He unfortunately passed away like many, many, many years ago, but like when I was 12. So he hasn't seen these, unfortunately. But his work was always around. Like we have stained glass pieces from him. So there's stained glass art kind of all over their house. So it's always kind of been around. And I think there's always lots of really cool potential in that, like the shapes kind of take on their form. And it like I'm almost limited in the style, which helps me kind of like force some creativity. So the stained glass has kind of evolved out of an experiment I did with an owl. There's a stained glass owl I did, and then this kind of evolved out of those. So I wanted to do a dragon this time, and I did a lot of Pinterest research. It's in my blood. My parents say that the artistic gene went from my grandfather's into the kids. They're like, we don't have any of the things. So yeah, stained glass has always kind of hung around in my life, and so this has been really kind of cool exploring that. And it's just funny you ask, because I was thinking about that just yesterday. When you get to my age, you do you more, and negative people around the door. Just keep it moving for you and what makes you happy first. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just kind of like, if this isn't part of my journey today, it's just not. Life is way too short. That's another thing too that's been kind of my inspiration to kind of keep powering through this kind of stuff. I have had a few people in my life that have been cut off way too short, like way too early. And it's just not worth it to be hanging around with those, doing stuff you don't want to be doing. Like sometimes you have to do stuff you don't want to do. Sometimes you gotta, but not all the time. So life's just way too short. You gotta love it. This reminds me of Mulan and the dragons and stuff. Yes, Alessandra, I am obsessed with the Mulan style and aesthetic. And I have no Asian blood in me, but the art is just so gorgeously beautiful. Yeah, this is kind of like a really intense Mushu, I guess. Now I got the dishonor on you, dishonor your whole family. That's stuck in my head now. I use it on the regular. Thank you, Alessandra. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Oh no, see, this is why you have to be careful with the lasso. See all those little holes I just created? They're really hard to clean up without making a mess, so I'm just gonna fix that right now. Things happen. Also, when I was going through the shading and stuff yesterday, I found a few holes in my paper patterns. I mentioned earlier I had to mash all this together into one layer because the file was just way too huge. There are some areas that need some fixing, but the shadows may cover them. So I'm just going to wait and see if I need to go fix those layers or not. But I have the raw file if I need to. I've never drawn dragons before, I just realized. It's funny that you say that because I I am like obsessed with dragons. Like the the Smaug scenes in Hobbit I've watched on repeat, and like I love them so much. There's so much creative potential. It's so great. But I sat down to draw this guy and was like, I don't think I've done this before. And then I got really nervous because I feel like dragons are one of those things that are like, have like a kind of a specific following. Like I feel like there's rules to dragons. And so I just Pinterest. I had thousands and thousands of Pinterest references. Really love your work, and thank you, Odari. I really appreciate that. I like to hear from everybody. I've been living for these live streams because it's so nice to hear from people outside of the norm and stuff. I love this little community that has been showing up, and I love it. Oh my god, it looks hard. Dragons, it's a challenge, but I feel like you can get into your rhythm. If you have lots of reference, you'll get there. But yeah, it was intimidating is kind of the word that I got to. But when you get to what you're going for, oh, just living. I would think that you would take it on beautifully, especially with those gorgeous markers you were working with yesterday. Oh. Thank you so much. I will do that, Alessandra, because art therapy interests me like a lot because I use it for my own therapy. Actually, I did a session. I'm part of an employee resource group at work, and we do like virtual lunches and stuff. It started in the pandemic, but like we worked, we still do some virtual lunches and things like that. And we always have different topics. So like, you know, a culture of women in the office and things like that, because it's the women's ERG. So just little topics that would impact people, like women in the environment, all kinds of different things. But I was like self-care and things like that. But a lot of everything I came up with felt buzzwordy. But then I thought, well, my self-care is this. And so I brought art and journaling and all kinds of like pen to paper ideas. And everybody freaked out. They were so excited. So I think I have to do the session again. But it interests me so much because art is my therapy. So it's just really cool to see how people respond to it. I'm working to become a licensed mental health counselor, submitting applications. Oh, well, good luck. Because that's very interesting work. Like, I think it's art therapy interests me, but I also don't know if it's something that I am properly equipped to do properly. Mojo, leave the floor alone, please. Thank you. And so, like, that's why it kind of, like, interests me, is I got to learn a lot more about it, so. Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. And did you say that those markers were Copic markers? Because I saw the chat kind of floating past, and then something happened, and I had to go walk the dog, I think, and I missed it. Were they Copic markers? Look, Mojo, here's the neighbor's bee. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Come on, bud. Hang out with me and the people, yeah? Don't be cranky, man. Be happy, man. And art supplies from friends is like the best. I know a friend of mine, he gave me a whole set of Prismacolor pencil crayons, like a super set that I never would have bought for myself. And I have them still here, like, still, they're being used. I haven't not used them, but like, it's such a big set that like, I still have them, and oh, markers, like, art supplies from friends are like the best. Nuts. I wasn't careful with this one either. Come on, Aaron, pay attention. Get it together, woman. There we go. It's called Kenor. It's called The Funny Thing My Best Friend's Not Even an Artist, and then picked a random one. That's amazing. I'm a sucker for a new art supply. But, so I will put that on my list, but I have a lot of markers staring at me here that are really sad that I've found fresco. So I will add them to the list though, because they're full of beautiful color for sure. So, and yeah, my friend who gave me my Prismacolors, he's not an artist either. They came out one time for my birthday before I did the, like, I just want to hang out and do my own thing for my birthday. We did like a paint night, and him and another friend had never painted anything ever before, except for probably like kindergarten finger paint. And they came out and had so much fun. Dual. That's amazing. I love people who can share art supplies. I love it. It's dual tip. Yes. Yeah, I'm a sucker for like a brush tip. Because I have a couple Copic markers here. And there's like a chisel edge. But I almost very rarely use it. I'm always about that brush tip to get those beautiful blends happening. Now I want to play with my markers. Never going to get the shop done. That's another thing with boundaries too. I had to set my own personal boundaries. Because I got into, I told you guys last week, I do the open studio I've gone to a couple weeks. And I got into collage because she was doing collage for a bit. I was so excited. So I had all these magazines and everything out all over my coffee table. I had to put it all away. I was like, no, this has to go away. You cannot be focusing on this right now. You're never going to get the coloring books finished and ready to go. You're never going to get all that stuff done. Put it away. So I had to boundary myself the other day. I haven't sent you anything. Oh dear. Don't worry, Alessandra. He hasn't sent anything to me either. That's okay. Hi, David. Thanks for tuning in. We're on a bit of a roll here. Usually I'm done like at 8, but I'm like feeling the groove here. So maybe we'll hang out for a few extra minutes here. Oh my God. Living. Okay, so what I think is really going to make this pop, guys, I'm going to do it on another layer for some reason, just because I don't know. I'm going to put shadows on these magical whiskers. I think it's going to really make this pop. I'm very excited. Should make that bigger actually to give myself some extra room. Oh, adulting always gets in the way, Alessandra. I hear you. I hear you. That's usually the case. Almost every time Odari starts a live stream like on a Saturday or something, I'm like on my way out to do groceries or something boring. Not to worry. I'm glad you tuned in tonight for a little bit. It's nice to chat with people. Tell me you had a tattoo. I would love to I would love to be able to design tattoos. I feel like I'm so inspired by tattoos. But it's probably for the best that I don't tattoo. I'll let the artists do it. I always say I would love to like design tattoos, but I also feel like I wouldn't want to design the tattoos that people want. I want to do the ones I want. I don't want to do some of the ideas other people have. I just want to start as one of those tattoo artists that picks their own things. Start at the top. That's what I want. Okay. Zoom in. Working in a very tight space with these whiskers, but luckily it's going okay. Try not to spin us too far here. Oh dear. Still figuring out the fresco shortcut situation. Hey Mojo. Let the neighbors be. Designing them is better. I stopped doing tattoos. So you used to be like a tattoo artist. Like, did you like work in a shop kind of level? So I feel like the energy in a shop's great. Like, I've spent some time in tattoo parlors, like whether it's friends getting tattooed or myself, but there's some good energy in there. Or there can be. Some of them are a little bit bizarre, but there can be some good energy. Designing them would be fun, though. Guys. Oh. Look. I'm so excited. Okay, let's do a couple more whiskers, and then we'll do the shadow on the whiskers, and then we'll see where we're at. Oh, pickles. Sometimes I'm not paying attention. Some of my shadows are overlapping, and so I'm gonna accidentally erase them, so I gotta be careful. Sorry, I'll try not to spin it too much. Nope, not the right brush. Let's try again. A little bit more. There we go. I worked from home. Hard to make money in a shop unless you have a lot of customers. Yeah, I would imagine. There's a definite hierarchy to that, I've heard as well. And because I think there's so many tattoo artists out there, competition must be a little bit crazy. When I got my first tattoo, I think that artist was talking about that, how like competition can be a little bit crazy. It's one of those things, like, I don't know if Camden's still on, but the like animation and everything in that world, storyboards and things like that, that world is a little bit intense too, and short turnaround too, unfortunately, which is rough for people who are trying to like make a serious go at it. But if you're determined, there's always ways you can get in, figure it out. All right, 3 more whiskers, and then I will let you all back to your evening. Keep going all day. Making some wicked progress, although the highlights will take a lot of time. I'll just have to watch the Desolation of Spaug, maybe the extended edition, and then I'll be done by the time that's done. Oh no. There we go. Oh, Erin, get it together, woman. Here's where the lines do matter. So close. Do it yourself at home tattoo. I like it. Evening September. Hey, sounds like a good evening. Yeah, it sounds like a good afternoon. These live streams can be like a spiral, though. Like, I think yesterday I was like watching Odari's live stream, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do some dishes. And then like somebody else came on, and then somebody else came on. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be watching live streams all day. No complaints, except for my dishes complaining, but that's okay. They're never done anyway. Stupid dishes. Okay, what's our line here? I guess this one will go here. I'm really glad that I chose to do this on another layer. Just it's overlapping so many shadows, I'd have to be crazy careful with my lassos. It's a lot to keep in mind. That's okay. We can clean that. Oh no. Switch to the eraser. Fresco does not read your mind. Why to tell her what you want? I have too many grandkids now. No time to tattoo. What if they all want tattoos? I'm that aunt for all my niece and nephews. What if they all want tattoos? Come on, Grandpa Ojari, let's get those kids some tattoos. Okay, one more. I gibbled that shadow a little bit, but no, I super gibbled it. Nuts. Okay, let's try one more time, and then we'll do the last whisker. And I'll let you all go. There we go. You're just so fine. Yeah. Yeah, maybe when they're older, they can have tattoos. But like, what a crazy story though. You'd be like, my grandpa gave me this tattoo. That's pretty awesome. Oh my goodness gracious. Just maybe buy new ink or something. I feel like by the time they're ready to have their tattoos, there's probably like new ink on the market. How cool would that be? So I feel like there was like that time where like tattoos were like, hey, well, you're never going to get a job, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to get to that point where all the people who are doing the tattoos are going to be like, tattooing, like it'll be like cool that you can do this tattoo thing. Because the older generation is complaining about that tattoos, and then we're becoming the older generation. Just, it's craziness. How things do turn. All right. Sorry, I'm so excited about this. All right, erase this and then clean. Oh, it's already clean. That's just a really thick vector line. Okay. Alrighty. So let's save. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Okay, so we'll hide this bad boy. We'll hide this bad boy. No, no, no. That's not what we wanted. Alright, so... By the way, did you get to talk to Dan about the versus challenge? Not yet, but it is on my list to do. This morning got away from me. The start of the week is always the nutsoid, but I do want to talk to him about it. I have the I have it on my list of things to do. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna lose Instagram in a second. There we go. I do want to talk to him about it though, because I was watching a couple of the, I'm kind of catching up on what it is and what's involved. So I was watching a couple of I think the most recent versus challenge online. So I'm going to be messaging him this week. I'm very excited. Do you like the save button on your stream? I loved the save button on your stream. I actually laughed out loud when everybody reminded you to save. I love it so much because I've talked about that here, where if I'm ever doing a sketch, like I did a couple live streams where I was doing markers and stuff, just like you were doing. And sometimes someone called me out on it because I would kind of like click from like my control save or an undo. I would try and undo something. And then just when I'm on here, I'm trying to like smudge with my pencil. Everything's all backwards. I loved your save button on this stream. That was so funny. All right. So this is where we started. And this is where we ended up, darling. Now some of those are a little dark. We may have to pull back a little bit. But I'm going to wait because I think they're also going to lighten up once I put those highlights in. So that's the next step. But I really wanted this pop because I think without it, I was getting a little uncertain about what we were looking at. But yeah, coming together. So I'm going to work a little bit this week on the highlights to get that going. And then we'll see where we end up next. Yeah, so I have lots to do, lots on this, lots for the shop. I have to message Dan. I've got lots of things on the go, so hopefully lots to talk about next week. I'm so excited. In the meantime, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in tonight. I really do appreciate it. Odari, happy birthday, early birthday. Alessandra, good luck with your application. I hope you're having a better day tomorrow. And everybody else, thank you so much. You are awesome. I love doing this, and I love that you all tune in to hang out with me in my crazy little world for a little bit. Have a great night. I will be back next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, with more magical dragon magic. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.